14 years after the launch of Facebook, it, as well as other social networking platforms, have seamlessly integrated into everyday human life with staggering momentum. Social media is a pervasive and influential thread that pulls on just about every aspect of our daily lives. What was once considered a technological milestone with the potential to serve as an equalizer, as well as an online conduit for global communication and collaboration, social media has instead begun to bleed into the offline world and amplify society's pre-existing prejudices and underlying socioeconomic inequalities. Functioning as an expositional critique on the insidious grasp of social media on our modern society, the Season 3 premiere of Black Mirror, a sci-fi anthology series titled NoseDive, presents a hauntingly tangible portrayal of a dystopian society defined and controlled by social networking. This episode leads us, the viewer, along a chilling and relatable path with the protagonist, Lacey, who is attempting to navigate upward through the social networking-based dystopian class system.
Most of your interactions are confined to your inner circle, and they're largely, pardon the term, mid to low range folks. Same with your outer circle. You've got a ton of reciprocal 5 stars from service industry workers, but there's not much else, at least as far as I can see. So in terms of quality, you could use a punch-up right there. Ideally, that's upvotes from quality people.
Quality people.
High fours. Impress those upscale folks, you'll gain velocity on your arc, and there's your boost.
Ultimately, the concluding scene and the focus of this essay is framed meticulously with aesthetic detail, dialogue, and character development to serve as a direct juxtaposition to the pre-established dystopian socio-economic system. Lacey, as well as the viewers, confront the raw truth of the social system in place and its ultimate distortion of genuine human experience, which, until questioned, remained veiled by deeply rooted sociological norms, a brutal class system, and, of course, palatable rose-colored glasses.
Don't try too hard. It's impossible to respect. High fours can smell it a mile off. You just be you. Authentic gestures, that's the key. That's time up. I'll catch you later.
Oh, could I just ask?
In today's society, cellular devices and social media are an inescapable duo. The ability for one to curate not only content, but a unique persona creates a cultural push and an incentive to portray an ingenuine life of perfection. This technology has become a distraction from raw experience and provides a palatable version of reality that offers an easy way to ignore the deeply ingrained prejudice and systematically corrupt world that most benefit from. In other words, social media now functions as a set of rose-colored glasses that are used to fabricate modern privilege into a more comfortable reality and to dilute the awareness of the injustices that support and maintain the system of privilege. One way the final scene exposes and elaborates upon this ideology is with intentional aesthetic choices to demonstrate the contrast between the naive contentment of rose-colored glasses and the harsh reality behind this dystopian system. A spectrum of muted tones and pastel colors correspond to the population's dull sense of reality, whereas the use of stark black and/or white, found only in the final scene, correspond to confrontation of truth. The concept of choice between a comfortable but naive state of thinking and an uncomfortable but honest grasp of reality is often referred to in popular media using the analogy of a red pill versus a blue pill. This analogy stems from the iconic presentation of choice in the 1999 film The Matrix.
This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
This same analogy is subtly weaved into the episode's dialogue and plot in the next few clips. While hitchhiking in a desperate attempt to attend the elite wedding of her childhood friend, Lacey meets Susan, a truck driver and a 1.4 who appears to be living off the grid and in her trailer.
Blue thermos is coffee, red's whiskey. Help yourself.
I'm okay, thanks.
Where are you headed?
The red thermos later serves as a tool that pushes Lacey closer to confronting the deep truth behind her veiled society.
I put a little something in there for you.
You did?
Emergency escape hatch.
Bye.
The two pills also function as two ends of a spectrum of truth, one that is rosy and one that is gray. Lower rated or lower class citizens wear gray. This supports the thinking that for those who are at a disadvantage in this system, it is harder for them to ignore the layers of injustice. Now that this spectrum of color has been defined in terms of a societal awareness, we can delve into the final scene and how the aesthetics of color play a powerful role in expressing the effect of social media on the human experience. As a consequence of genuine self-expression, and thus confrontation of truth, Lacey is removed from society and placed in prison. The removal of Lacey's eye implant and her connection to social media reinforces the discomfort in acknowledging brutal truth. Her rose-colored glasses are ripped out to demonstrate how deeply society has internalized this blue pill life. Her curated persona had become part of her own identity, but only after its removal is she able to genuinely connect with herself, others, and the world around her. Much like Lacey's muddied dress, the set of the scene has been drenched in gray tones to demonstrate the quickly unfolding truth that is sinking into both Lacey and the viewer. Lacey sheds the final layer of her curated persona and her life as a participant in a systematically corrupted and seemingly inescapable world. Cascade of white dust contrasting with the dark background drives Lacey to tears. She begins to find beauty in the raw truth. Something as simple as dust that had once been muddled, hidden, and ignored is now a beacon of hope, entangled with the simple and purely genuine grace of nature. And only then are we made aware of a character in the cell across from Lacey, dressed in an all-black suit.
The fuck are you looking at?
Just what I was wondering.
Well, don't.
Don't wonder?
Uh-huh.
Be a dull world without wonder.
I don't give a
Not only does this statement prod at the use of muted colors and its implications throughout the episode, but it bridges a gap into human connection and communication. To wonder is to question, and through questioning, we find
I don't
truth.
like your head. Your entire head is just ridiculous to me.
Really?
You look like an alcoholic former weatherman.
There is no malicious intent behind the exchange of profanity, taking power away from what is being said and deriving power from its context. The two find the freedom to experience genuine human connection through the exchange of unmediated discussion, debate, conflict, and simply the expression of emotion.
Face is a fucking biological car crash that make Picasso screw his eyes up and say, well, that just don't make sense.
You're a fucking asshole.
Fuck you!
Fuck you next Wednesday.
Fuck you for Christmas.
The two are physically bound to their cells, these spaces that exist due to their inherent lack of freedom. However, the two characters find liberty in a now completely equalized environment, one without fear of social judgment or repercussion. Although physically distanced, the pacing of dialogue, the increasing proximity of shots, and the rate of cuts emphasize that this is the closest human connection in the entire episode. Here, in a setting that society would describe as bleak and isolating, the two have found the exact opposite. Happiness and love exudes from this exchange of insults, ultimately demonstrating that the power of human experience is built upon a foundation of free thought, communication, and honest expression. The show ends on a note of possible rehabilitation of society. We are reminded, like in The Matrix, that there is a choice. So which thermos will humanity reach for? The palatable coffee or the rabbit hole that is whiskey?
And right up through to our teenage years, we made the pair. Well, we talk about all the things girls talk about, boys, hair products, more boys. I mean, I tried sometimes to expand our range a little to talk about, climate change, but she found that kind of boring. So she was probably right. I mean, fuck the planet, right? Yes, thank you. Come on, let's have a little fun here. Fuck the planet. Fuck the planet.